The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Doug Billings here. And I'm coming to you from smack dab in the middle, as always, of the fruited plain, right here in the state of Kansas, my home state. Been home for 34 years, the state of Kansas has been. And we are in the midst of a governor race, an election that will come up in 2026. They look, the candidates, oh, I respect them all. I respect everyone who has put their name in the hat. There will be many more, I have a feeling, who put their names in the hat as we progress along towards June, April, May, etc. None of them have captured what I've been describing the last few days. This MAGA movement is the new Republican conservative movement in America, and we need to wrap our heads around that. We need to come to terms with that. The MAGA movement will take care of all Kansans in a MAGA conservative approach. We have seen over the last 4 years, especially, but even longer than that, but especially the last 4 years with Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris in office, that we have discovered that, as many of us have known all along, that liberal policies only create crisis, chaos, and crime. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Just look at everything that has happened in America over the last 4 years. The border is the most obvious, and I said in yesterday's video that if the governor in Kansas needs to partner with Tom Homan, the national border czar, ICE, and so forth. I think that the governor ought to use executive powers to create a militia in the state of Kansas, because the Constitution gives obvious and direct powers to the governor in the state of Kansas that in times of insurrection and invasion, he can create a militia that would be comprised of men between the ages of 21 and 45. Now, we need to consider doing that in Kansas to repel the invasion of illegal immigrants and to do just exactly what the model is, the template is. Round up the criminals first and get them out. Work with Tom Homan at the federal level, get them out. If it were me, I would be signing executive orders to make those things happen post haste after my election. The next step would be to get rid of all of the other illegals. And the liberals will cry and bemoan this, but we need to remind ourselves of this, ladies and gentlemen. It's only because of liberal policies that these human beings are being put through this trauma. Not only were they encouraged by radical liberal policies to traverse deadly terrain, they were encouraged by liberal policies to face deadly cartels on their way to America. And now that they're here illegally, it's time for them to go, and we're going to escort them out. And again, that's because of the radical liberal policies. It is not the conservative Republican movement's fault that these illegals are in this country. Chaos, crime, crisis. That's the liberal way. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Just look around this country. Look around the state of Kansas. Chaos, crime, and crisis. They don't prosecute criminals with extreme prejudice. And in the off chance that they are prosecuted, you know the story, my friends. They're given light sentences, if they're sentenced at all, or they're let out early. If it were me, the governor, we would have a whole new approach to that whole deal. I'd work with Chris Kobach, and whoever is in the state's attorney general's office. The governor needs to do this. Work with legislators to pass new and tough laws, enforce the laws, and so forth. We know it because we've seen radical liberal policies lead to nothing. They don't lead to prosperity. Again, look around. Chaos, crime, and crisis. The governor of Kansas, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it, and think about who you would want to run. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. We're in this together in Kansas. Believe it. For the Republic, or Kansas. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.